Alright, so today's video, we're watching a Lifeweaver, Juno, and Moira playing Blizzard World, and they are Gold 1. They say, alright, so this game, in the beginning, started out pretty silly, and we kept making dumb mistakes and getting killed for dumb reasons. Like getting way too separated from each other, walking off the cart, and having incorrect timing on disengagement/engagements. As far as my personal gameplay, I switched off Lifeweaver pretty quickly as I realized I was making a lot of mistakes and misplays. Once I switched to Juno, things got a lot better. But I still feel like I made some critical mistakes, like not using speed ring to save teammates a few times that I could have, rotating away wrong, and trying to save the second point that was already lost. I can easily get lost and panicked as soon as I am being pressured by enemy heroes like Tracer or Sombra, and feel like my gameplay starts to fall apart. At a certain point, I just decided to try to remain close to my tank and try to be more aggressive instead of defensive, and ended up pushing up into weird spots to avoid flankers. This is in bold, by the way. In this situation, what can I change to positively impact the game? Are my panic responses to being dive or dove costing me games? What can I do better in the future? Okay, we'll find out. I mean, it sounds like you have an idea of what you're doing wrong, so that's a good start. Let's find out. Here we go. Now, obviously, they're going to switch off Lifeweaver pretty quickly, so once again, when you're playing Lifeweaver, it's definitely more of a reactionary... It's definitely going to be a bit more of like a reactionary like play style than it is like proactive play style, but do what you can. Oh, that was a rough start. Hey, the pedal's being used.
At your convenience.
Nothing's really happening yet. None of your teammates switched to Widow. Yep. Pretty much what you expect. Yep. Okay, there you go. Wait for it.
Something for the stick.
I mean, pretty clean start. I don't really have anything. Once again, I find that whenever I watch Lifeweaver, as long as you're like putting pedals down and paying attention to your team, you're probably gonna be just fine. Like it's what I've noticed. So far you've pretty much been doing everything you need to do outside of pedals. I think that's pretty much as like straightforward as it gets. You just use your pedals correctly, heal your teammates, pull when you need to, you're probably gonna have a good time. Well, depends if your teammates are getting kills.
Some healing?
But so far it's been fine, from what I can tell. I don't see anything
Group up with me.
too extravagantly bad here or anything.
The payload advances.
Yep. Like I said, like nothing's like happening. So, and I've noticed this more and more with. Okay. Yep. Only thing I'll say is have a pedal out more. It's amazing seeing the team comp right now. Okay, so you have Lifeweaver tree. Let's talk about this. Use this proactively. I want you to use this aggressively. And I think this is something that people haven't been using tree for as much. Like we can talk about this, right? One thing that I will try to like get you to do more of eventually when you're playing Lifeweaver is use your tree as like a way to like block line of sight. So try something here. You have a Reinhardt, right? And you're playing Lifeweaver. Let's think about a play here that could work, right? You're in this situation as Lifeweaver. How can you be more proactive and how can you make this be better? How can you play better, right? I think that's what I need to start doing more in some of these Lifeweaver VODs is like, let's talk about what you can do to make an impact by instead of just sitting there holding like your heal, which is fine, right? I love that play style too. But let's think about this tree. Let's see the vision you have. Okay, on your screen, you see a Reinhardt, you see an Ana, and you probably know the Moira is there. So what you should do here, if you want to be a proactive play, pop a tree right here. And you do this because it's going to line of sight the Ana, your Ramattra can get aggressive, and the Reinhardt is forced out of there. That is using your ultimate aggressively. So let's see what your choice ends up being.
Life from life.
So let me ask you this question. So rather than use it as a more of aggressive ultimate to basically be able to, like, basically you're creating a wall. Like when you make this play, essentially what you're going to do is you're going to create a wall, right? You're going to create a line of sight for their supports. Do you think that throwing it on the cart like that when your team isn't even on the cart? Or do you like the idea of maybe using it like more aggressively? See, that's what I'm trying to like help in these like VODs now is like finding ways to be able to make a play when you can make a play. And if you look at the Ana, you can see that you've kind of already created an LOS, but imagine this in a spot where one, you won't lose your Reinhardt because of it, and two, it's not dictated by the cart, right? Because the cart will push with the tree. So put it like here, and then go for a kill. And then now you have an opportunity, especially with a Ramacha, to get the kill, and more than likely, there's going to be a different team fight. So I want to kind of show you more ways to be more proactive, right? But if you see an Ana healing them in the background, and you can LOS them, this gives your teammates opportunity to push up and get kills. The only thing you have to worry about is the threat of the Ana grenade, which is actually what kind of got your teammate killed initially too. But like, that's it. Like that's where you can use it more proactively to get kills.
Let's group up. That should do it.
All right, wait on the heals. And then just in response is you get nervous about blocking pathways to walk for your team, but you don't really have to worry about that there. That's what I'm saying. What you just said is exactly what you would do to the other team. You would block their pathways to walk to your team while also getting rid of line of sight. So you have the right mindset there, but you're thinking about it from your team's point of view and you're not putting it into the other team's point of view. And when you start to do that, you start to realize how you can affect that more. Here we go. Keep seeing those heals.
Can't have it getting worse.
Rank? I think gold or something like that. Eventually they do switch off of Lifeweaver. Like this does happen at some point. Good movement, good pull. One of your teammates is going to get rolled there. I'm okay with it being your Cassidy because your Ramacha is going to be the one that can kind of like take care of that Ryan. I mean, this is a gold game. I think like this type of like support line is normal for the most part. I think you see a lot of this, which is fine. You have to remember, when I'm doing VOD reviews, I'm not sitting here telling the players how to play it like a top 500 lobby because it's going to play differently. I'm telling them how to get better at their current rank and what they can do to climb out of that rank. You see the difference there?
Tight.
I mean, yeah, your pedals are your pedals are like okay. You're not. I've seen worse Lifeweaver pedals where you don't even use them. I'm not saying your pedals are perfect. I'm glad you at least use them, but like definitely find opportunity. Like right now you have a wasted pedal and you see your cooldown, it's just sitting there doing nothing. Like you should already have a pedal up ready to go. Like straight up. Like there should be a pedal around this area, especially maybe to get your teammates high ground or you high ground. Don't put it on the cart. Don't put it on top of the cart. Put it further back to block line of sight. There you go. Even that is what I was looking for initially. But you took too long to make that decision. You can't just sit there when all that's happening and not make a decision quicker than that, right? I understand if it gets stuck, but like you kind of waited too long. That needs to be up ASAP. All right, now we're on Juno. Now you're on Juno. So you don't play in Lifeweaver there. I definitely like the Juno pick a little bit better. This definitely enables your tank more for sure. But yeah. Thumbnail, thank you. Here we go. Nice kill. Big slam. Definitely, I will say, Juno definitely is allowing for you to be more proactive and make plays, which is cool, right? Like, because sometimes you might be stuck on, like, playing heroes that aren't able to be as proactive, so having this as, like, another hero to play is good. Using the speed ring efficiently, helping your team, obviously healing. Everything's good so far. I've been happy with it. I would be ready to use your speed ring out here, so this is a situation where I wanted to get in the mindset of using your speed ring right away when you hear the Rhine charge. And that's only to allow your teammates to disengage from the Rhine. Because you're thinking about it from your point of view of like, okay, I'll use speed ring when I need it for myself. I want you to think about your teammates. That Reinhardt's going to swing on somebody, right? It's going to happen. So give your teammates the opportunity with a well-placed speed ring to also be able to disengage, okay? Okay, Anarchy. No, Jero. You're talking about the esports one? No, we're not one of the streamers that has them enabled. Hopefully one day, but as of right now, they don't allow us to have them. I mean, you're not really thinking of it as cover. You just gotta think about what it does for your teammates. Like, if your teammates go faster, it benefits them to disengage from something or be aggressive. So, once again, it goes back to learning how to use your speed ring in a more proactive manner to help your team. A lot of people's thought processes is, what does it do for my hero, and that's it. And a lot of the time, what you do for your team is what matters the most. Even right now, throw a speed ring up there. Why not? If your teammates, like, wait a second, once they engage again, throw a speed ring. You'll get benefit from the speed ring. Anybody that goes to will get benefit, and you have it there as an option, right? When your Ramattra gets back to point inevitably here, speed ring him. Let him go back in. Let him disengage, you know? Okay, they're on Doom now, but now speed ring, right? After you get him healed up, speed ring now. Give your teammates the benefit of that speed ring. You see how you're not using an ability that can be super helpful? Movement speed in this game especially can be difficult in some ranks too, like when a lot of people are moving really fast, right? It can change up how you aim, how things go. I mean, it does that in top 500. Use your ultimate right away. Good, right? Now, this is going to probably be a one-team fight, right? But how many speed rings did you use during that team? I'm trying to get this in your mind. How many speed rings do we see there towards the end? How many? Oh, I gotta stretch. Only like 2. Exactly. And then when we got to the heated part of the team fight for the past minute, nothing happened. No speed ring. So I just want to get you in the mindset of, like, you need to look at it as I need to use this ability to be able to not only benefit me but my teammates. And once again, it didn't really matter, but it's about developing those good habits so you're doing it more consistently, right? You need to just do it. Here we go. Good speed ring, by the way. It kind of helps your team, but, like, at the same time, the Tracer got you, so that was just a good play by the Tracer, more than anything else. You're gonna take your time to get back, then they can do about this. Your teammates should be fine for now, too. I would recommend just looking main on your tank. There you go. Speed ring, speed ring, speed ring, speed ring, speed ring. Okay, throw a speed ring when you get a chance here. Speed ring. I just want to see a speed ring. There it goes. A little bit too late. It's amazing that you use your speed ring after the team fight is basically done, rather than when your teammate could benefit from backing up just a little bit. Oh, I did vent. Oh, I did. So. There you go. There you go. Much better. Once again, you're using this more as a disengage tool. Now, is that a perfect speed ring? No, right? I'm not gonna sit here and try to get you to use it perfectly. I'm just trying to show you when it could be a beneficial moment for your teammates. Like, this is a little bit too early, but the right idea, okay? A little bit too early, but the right idea. You're gonna need to do this regardless at one point. And it looks like it won't even matter. You're gonna get dove from bottom right, so what you would probably do... Oh, no, the Winston just took that path in and then just sat there. There you go, nice. Good job. Good job. I mean, their team just did a good job getting map control. Not much you can do about losing that point. That was just like a good... That was just good map control by the other team. I mean, you kind of just lost contain. That happens, right? That will happen. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Okay, now you have your ultimate coming up again soon. You have Sigma ultimate. So, Juno, that's what I'd be looking at right now in this, like, neutral fight where nothing's happening. I would probably just start figuring out what we have ult-wise. Speedring your teammates if you need to. You speedring yourself, that's fine. Either way, both of you needed to get out. Don't jump in the air like that, because they can get you. They can kill you for free. Yeah. Okay. I already know your problem here is that, and you kind of mentioned it. Your problem is that whenever they start getting aggressive on you, I'll start playing it because it's gonna take a little bit for you to respond. Whenever they get aggressive, you start to panic a little bit. And what you do is, rather than like have an escape route, you always just end up going like in the middle of the map and you kind of lose track of where you're gonna go. So, easy way to fix this: always have an escape route. But you know what I mean? Like, always have an escape route. And what that means is where is your if you're gonna play somewhere aggressively, where are you gonna fall back to? And generally you're gonna want to fall back towards your spawn. It's the safest way to go, unless your teammates are all stacked elsewhere, right? Right now your reaction to having people on you is to disengage in the middle of the open. So what you need to start doing is starting to plan out your escape because it makes it 10 times easier. So, takes an extra 2 seconds to go, okay, if they push me here, I'm going to go here. Get in that habit. Eventually, you won't have to remind yourself because you're going to do it kind of naturally on where you want to go. You should ult this, by the way. If you wait to ult this any longer, you're going to... This is such a weird one because, like, I still would have been okay if you Juno ulted it. What's... Man, you really like to hold your ult. That's a weird one, because it's a hindsight situation. You win the team fight, but will you win that team fight like that every single time? My answer is probably no to that. So I think this goes back to playing it a little bit too safe. Like, in hindsight, it's a great play, right? Because you didn't use your ultimate, now you have it again. But I want to get you more in the mindset of, like, as long as you're able to make, like, a good play with, like, I don't know, I would use it there. I would have used it. Because it's hindsight, but I think using it is the right idea. Because you're going to lose that team fight 50% of the time, too. If not more. And then you'd probably be at, like, 30% on your next ult or so, 25%. Oh, no, don't ult, do not ult. Once again, this is the next step you need to do to improve in this game. This goes for anybody. I'll let it play through. Are you ready for this? You need to start being prepared to dictate the pace of your disengaging. And a lot of this is just paying attention to what's happening in front of you. So if you get stuck in, like, heal bot, right? Like right now, you got a little bit stuck into like, it almost feels like you feel like you have to do, like, certain things. Like, you weren't going to win the point. So why is your default reaction here is to run out of spawn, ignore everything happening back here where you could maybe pick up a kill last second because your teammates are all coming out here. Okay. Right? Instead, you're going to fly to the cart. Now, if you do end up flying to the cart, this ends up being the wrong play because you're by yourself. You're not going to stop the cart. You're not going to do anything, right? So, like, it comes along the line of, I think you need to start preparing yourself to how to disengage properly. Because your panic comes from you not recognizing it's happening. So just start looking at the rest of the team and see where they're going, see where they're, like, where they're running to, etc. And I think that's going to be the correct play. Anyway, let's continue on. Yep, now you're dead. Like, once again, like, you weren't going to win the point, so instead of having a solid retake, you're back in spawn, right? Like, you're already back in spawn. You're still on the same Juno ultimate from earlier that you never used, which, once again, you won that team fight. But then by the time that you could have used it proactively again, you didn't use it proactively, and then you lost the team fight, then you ran back to the point over. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like right now, you should be looking for an aggressive Juno ultimate right when it gets to about here, right? Like just send it. Nope. I don't know what happened to your Sigma there, but that was interesting. Okay, they used Nano. This would be a good time to maybe counter them with the Juno ultimate. Nope. Okay, we'll save it for now. Don't be afraid to use a Juno ultimate at some point here, just to give yourself time. This would be a good opportunity, definitely. There you go. Okay, now this would have been your second one you would have used by now. This is fine, by the way. Your ultimate time, it was fine. Oh, big slam. Goodbye. You were very proud of that one, weren't you? Okay. You have no ults now, but probably be at 70% now. No, maybe even higher. It's hard to say what happens after the team fight, but yes. Remember, the way you would disengage this, let's talk about it. This is the problem. Is a lot of players will use their abilities after the engagement happens. What you would do here is the moment that this Reinhardt really starts to grind down your team, which might even be now, this is when you speed ring. And the reason why you speed ring is because you give your teammates the opportunity to either be aggressive and kind of punch back or to back up aggressively. But if you're using your speed ring to disengage too late, it's not going to do anything. You're going to lose the team fight. So once again, you need to stop trying to think about using the speed ring just for yourself as like a self-peel tool. And I want you to think about it more as like a peel for your whole team. And I think a lot of people kind of forget that like your abilities can like help other players on your team and you use it for yourself. That's fine, right? It's when you're playing a game, you want to make sure that you're playing the role fine and you want to keep yourself alive. But the reason why utility exists is for you to use it for like the help to help your team. So you're not doing that. You're just kind of hitting your buttons occasionally. Now, obviously, it looks like you're about to use the speed ring or have used it now, but it might even be a little bit too late. Oh no, you're in your right click. Never mind. There you go. You speed ring, but like this goes again to what I said about proper disengage tools. Like your proper disengage would be around up here. You can maintain this the whole time, right? You sit here, you see? You're right here, you sit here, you stay here, you can help your team. Why are you flying right here? Do you see what this is? So it's also in proper position. So of course you're going to die there. And then you had a late Juno ring that you use for yourself. Look at this. See? Not benefiting your Ramattra, not benefiting your Moira. It was only about benefiting yourself, right? You see that? So what you could have done is been up here. Then you would speed ring forward. Your teammates would disengage out. You get the benefit of the speed ring. And now you're in a spot where you can go up here. Instead, you don't disengage properly. You don't have a proper way to go about. So you disengage into the middle of the open and you fall over. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? Right? Yeah, you got rolled. Nothing you can do about that. Your teammates lost contain. You always forget about that legend support. I mean, you have mobility, right? I mean, you have to remember in Overwatch, like, supports have so much mobility. Like, there's only a few heroes that don't have a ton of mobility in Overwatch when it comes to support. So take advantage of that when you can. That's kind of what I'm getting at with that one, you know?
Let's increase our pace. Attackers in. Defend objective A. That party was boring.
Here we go.
Fix that.
Okay. I gotta. Let's pause. What is going on here? What is going on here? What is going on here? Okay, listen. Look where you are. Look where your teammates are at. Why did you just do this like whole rotate here? Right? Once again, this goes back to just preparation. You got to know where you got to disengage to based off of what they're doing. You're not going to want to disengage over here and go all the way around, right? So it just really just comes down to you properly using your abilities correctly. And right now, it just feels like, yeah, you got to go for a walk real quick. Exactly. So I need you to start planning out where you want to go to. That's really what your problem is right now. Is you're just not quite properly planning where your disengage spots are to. So I want you to get in the habit of this because it's going to be tedious at first, but I promise you, getting into the good habits of proper disengages is going to make you a much better player. It can be boring. It's not going to be as impactful, like apparently impactful to you as hitting a good shot, hitting a good ultimate. But I'm telling you, you know what is impactful? Winning your games. And that is going to be the number one thing that you can get out of this is like being able to win games and be able to survive more. And I think that's where it's going to start with you. Let's go. I'll show you what I mean by a proper disengage in a second. You survived this so far, right? It's okay. So here you are, right? You're down here. Already at this point, when this Reinhardt charges this Rein, because it's happening, I want you to speed ring. And you're doing this so that the Reinhardt, because their Reinhardt's going to react with a charge back. I want you to just speed ring that area. I almost had the right idea. Like, you just needed to be closer to your Rein. It just helps your Rein finish the kill. Okay, let's pause, right? Because this is the next step. If I'm in this situation, I need to think about where am I going to go to? Where do I need to set up and where do I need to be, right? Now, obviously, a Cassidy over here has been ignored. They you know what? It's never a good thing if you're playing a hero and they just ignore you on DPS because generally it means they don't even know you're hitting them with shots. So that's the first problem there. But second of all, your proper disengage tool is going to be back to where you started, okay? Over here. Or you could disengage here and play it safely since you know you have map control outside of this Cassidy. Those are your two options. So if at any point you move this way or you move this way, you've gone the wrong way, right? There's also one more option. You can float up into the air up here. In fact, I would say this is probably your best spot. I'm just showing you 3 different options of disengage tools because you have 3 different survivabilities, right? Cassidy behind complicates that, but you should probably be fine. So let's see what your reaction is. Okay, so what'd you do wrong? Even though you were winning the team fight and it seemed like the correct play at that point, what you did is you gave up your map contain and control. So when your whole team left this part of the map, you now gave this map back to them. So now you went here and you basically created a crossfire on your whole team. That's why you just fall over there. You get cornered here, right? When you first started here, did you think that you would end up being cornered here? No. That's why I was showing you the 3 possible disengage spots, right? Because that is where the map is going to protect you. This is going to get you cornered. So even though you push in here and you're like, oh, this is great, the amount of times that I have pushed into this area and fallen over and what is seemed like a one team fight for me is too damn high. Okay? And that is why I have this, I knew where you should disengage to, is because I've done it so many times of doing it improperly at that point, right? So the reason why you have this part is because you contain the map. Even if you were up here and a Lifeweaver and a Mercy were on you, your other teammates are here. You control this whole side of the map. But when your team gives up this side of the map, you now horseshoe yourself, which means that they basically, like they create a horseshoe, right? See how it's like a horseshoe? See this? Like a horseshoe. You've now given up this part of the map to where they have all this horseshoe, and your team is cornered right here. So what you do is you control the map rather than you do this. Does that make sense? I don't even know if it's a good example, a horseshoe or whatever, but that was your problem. And that's why I said don't disengage into those 2 spots. What do? You go up here, you try to get a kill, they take map control back because you gave them that map. You then push into here because you're like, okay, this is my next option. Well, guess what? The people that used to be here are still here. You have to go into here, and now you're stuck. Hope this is good and useful. Like I said, I'm still trying to expand on the Spectating series, but I'm trying to show people more and more about like why it isn't working and why it can appear like it's going to work and why it results in what it does. Now, you could still win this team fight easily, right? You could easily win this team fight, but you're not going to be a part of that unless you get res. So, first stream, welcome. I hope you enjoy, Sydney. Yep. And there you go. So you lost the team fight. Do you see how you had something that was very winnable and then it turned into a lost fight? That's how it happens. And once again, it happens in top 500 all the time. It's easier said than done. And sometimes you're gonna have to do that same reactionary like move forward. But like that one was a pretty apparent one to me. Even just like spectating there from like the back, the back seat, right? Okay. Now you're on Moira for the last team, like the last set here. Okay, here we go. Moira time. So we'll see how your defense goes on Moira. I don't know necessarily why the Moira pick here. And maybe it's because you were getting dove like you said, but I think it's been more you've overthought this a little bit. We've all been there, so. If the DPS clear me off this high ground, I'd rotate back left. It's the safest spot. It's an annoying spot to be in, but like you're gonna get cornered if you don't. You'd have to go back left. No. Like, listen. Once again, this goes back to your disengage tools. Like, think about where you just went to here on the fade. You're lucky they didn't just kill you right away. Like, this is what I mean. Disengage to the safe spots, backwards. You go, yeah, but this is like, there was a Sombra here. Yeah, so was your Sombra. So was the rest of your team. If you go here by yourself, there's no way they can help you if they follow up on you, right? So you go this. You go. So now you're out of the team fight the whole time. Now you're not even looking at your other teammates. Like look what you just did, where you had a improper disengage, and then you left your teammates out to dry and they fell over. You see what the problem is here? Is like you're just kind of like your rotates are just not good, and because your rotates aren't good, you're losing team fights. So my take on this one here with you is you kind of you need to work on your rotates and how you disengage. You're getting yourself killed and how you use your abilities. And I know that's gonna sound like a lot, but there's a few things you can clean up on to fix this. It's as simple as 1, always have a proper disengage route. Give yourself an idea. Now listen, sometimes they're gonna change that plan on you, right? Like where you can disengage to, but I promise you, the better you get at understanding why you're disengaging to somewhere, the better you're gonna get at it, right? It becomes easier to pick up in real time. I'm just giving you the tool here to understand that the way that you're rotating is always into the other team or like into the middle of the open and not to a safe spot. So that's number 1 for you. You need to prioritize that. You've gotten yourself killed multiple times here. And truthfully, you've lost a couple team fights that I thought were winnable just because of that to begin with. Okay? Like this could be a completely different game by just a proper disengage out of you, right? Straight up. Number 2, let's work on the ability usage. I feel like at times, especially on Juno, and even Lifeweaver at times, you just are afraid to use your ability. Like you're using them for yourself. Start thinking about what they do for your team. Your Ramatra goes faster against a Reinhardt. I like the idea of an aggressive speed ring right there. right? You start to see their team getting aggressive. I like the idea of an early disengage. That way that they have to take multiple forms of aggression just to get to your team, and by then they have no cooldown. You clean up that part of your gameplay, you're going to see a steady climb. But if you don't do that, you're going to keep having these like 50-50 matchups where you lose games off of just a proper disengage, and you don't want to lose games that way. I'd rather like lose a game because the other team just dominates, or because like they made a great play, not because you're making a bad play. Right? So fix up that gameplay, and I think you'll be fine. You'll climb. If you don't, then it's going to take a while. But you got this. You absolutely got this. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't. Leave a comment. All that helps. If you want to submit your own spectating, look in the description below. That's where my Discord is. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat below the webcam. Also stream on YouTube. We have a lot of fun here. With that being said, I hope you have an amazing day/night.